Welcome to episode number 22 of the Subscription Podcast, everybody. I'm Paul Chambers.
And I'm Louis Ricard.
That was a lot of excitement. Thanks for being here today, Louis.
Thank you for having me. Second time.
I'm not having you. This is us together. We are celebrating subscription. This is the podcast where we talk about everything in the world of subscription membership and recurring revenue. Episode number 22. We've made it past that 20 mark, which I'm really excited about. Today, I want to dive into a couple things. I want to talk about pricing strategies. Been digging a little bit deeper into some of that, some of the data that's out there around consumer spending. We're starting to head into the holiday season, so helping brands think about pricing strategies a little bit, what they can look at. There's some things happening out there in the world of subscription we should check in on. We'll play that game, subscription, name that subscription game. Total of 30 points. We're 60 points away from our pizza party.
Ooh.
And then we're going to talk about some amazing faces. We're going to pick a random 8x10 glossy. Got a stack of 8x10 glossies here, and we're going to talk about that person.
Well, you should tell them, like, those are all SubSummit speakers.
These are all SubSummit speakers from last year, and some of them are autographed. And if you get an autographed one, it could be worth some money.
I'm wondering if it would have been funnier to just pick a random person, like completely random, non-related to.
We went on Facebook, and we just found a bunch of people. Like, yeah, they could be AI generated as well. So let's talk about pricing for a minute, because I came across this post, and I think you shared it as well, about Tinder introducing their $500 a month VIP plan. That's wild.
500.
Would you pay 500? Okay, you just got married, by the way. Congratulations. We mentioned that in the last podcast. Yeah.
Do you really? Me?
My wife would love it if I wore my wedding band. So you just got married, and
Don't
you
need
no
Tinder.
longer need to be on Tinder. Did you delete your Hinge?
I never had it.
So you met Jenna at the gym, right?
I
We're not
did.
going to dig into that right now. It's not a subscription related thing.
Well, I mean, Jim, I
But-
was a member.
Membership.
Oh, you
Yeah.
were? Yes.
It's
Technically,
Membership.
It always full
Isn't
circle.
that amazing how it helps your life? Had you ever been on any dating apps before?
I had a few times, yeah.
Okay. Did you pay for them?
No, never.
Okay.
I'm also the type of guy who, like, I don't pay for Apple Music or Spotify. I go on SoundCloud, and I just,
You
Go
push
through
through
the
the
ads. I don't
commercials.
care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're a more cost-conscious consumer. And so that's what's interesting here, and I think we need to talk about is Tinder. We talked about Tinder and Hinge and stuff like that last time. We talked about in previous podcasts. This is a new one. It's Tinder Select premium subscription for the most the most active users. You know, it's funny, when I read this the first time, I thought it said for the most attractive users. I was like, this is really shallow.
So you have to go through an application process, and then they allow you to pay $500.
Bradley would be all over it. Bradley's like, it's just the peak of what a great person looks like.
That's
And
so true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
He would
I should be
qualify as
on
the
the
most-
committee to judge for people to
Your photo,
accept them into
yeah.
it.
Your photo is next to handsome in the dictionary.
So by
Yes.
the most attractive user, you would be allowed to pay $4.99 a month for Tinder Select. So it's actually active, not attractive. I swear in my life, I was like, God, this is so shallow, but I get it, I guess.
Honestly, though, that's a great, like, it's super not great as far as inclusivity goes, but
Definitely not.
imagine paying $500, but you get, like, the most attractive people. So then it becomes this kind of super sick.
It's like Bachelor in
I'm just
Paradise
saying.
of dating apps.
I'm just saying, like, would you pay $500 if you
Oh
knew?
my
But
gosh.
like based on who, like, so the thing that they have on Hinge is they say like
Algorithms,
top.
AI.
Well, they have top selects. So like they have a thing where you can do like the one rose a week, or you could buy more roses, and
Okay.
it just provides all the most popular people, and it gives you like 7 a day. So that is one of the things that does kind of narrow it down.
Interesting.
And that's like just selected by how like everybody else.
Be based on Reddit's opinions. That'd be dangerous.
Okay.
So it is in all seriousness, what it is, it's a VIP subscription. Also they call it ultra premium VIP.
And it is an invite-only membership.
Got it. Okay, so maybe they are utilizing
Yeah.
some things in there, but it's targeting the active users that are more willingness to pay. And that starts to kind of drive me down the path of the story of two different consumers that are out there right now. And yeah, maybe like I fall in between.
You're still
right?
budget
I'll
conscious
spend
for
money.
sure.
So what we're seeing, the challenge in the economy right now, is we have consumers that are more budget conscious, aren't spending, pulling in the spending that they're making out there right now. And then you have the wealthy and almost like ultra wealthy. They're buying the Louis Vuitton bags, the Hermes bags,
Going on
like,
trips.
going on trips, taking flights, not caring what first class costs or whatever it is. And the spending doesn't matter
Mhm.
to them. And so they're the ones that are probably maybe more likely to be buying Tinder Select. Do you
Well,
think?
is it a way to expand your target audience, right? Because when you think of, and Bradley, you may have to correct me on this. When I think of Tinder, I think of like younger adults who probably don't have much money, who are trying to just meet as many people as they can.
But
So
what about
are
the
you-
crypto bros?
Crypto bros are on Hinge or on some weird like Christian.
Are they going to go to
I don't
Tinder
know.
Select now? So,
But they might.
like,
That's what I'm saying.
we assume probably majority of the 20 somethings don't have wealth at this point
Yes.
in life, or significant wealth to pay $500 a month. But there's a market, there's a faction of them out there.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's like it's either the lucky, and
Mhm.
wealthy 20-year-old or
Crypto
something,
bros.
or it's the older generation. It's like that's Tinder's way of saying, hey, like we understand how our demographic works. Let's go to a new thing where it's maybe elderly, people that are looking for love. There's this,
Grandpa on Tinder.
no, but think about it. This new bachelor guy, he's like 70
Yeah.
years old,
Well, that's what is it? The Bachelor golden years,
something like
know,
that. But that's an
something like that.
interesting like concept of
It is.
okay, like that generation seems to be forgotten by a lot of
The
brands.
Golden Bachelor. Sorry. Yeah, that was close.
Why can't we reach out to them, because they might be looking for something
See, I
and they know
don't-
what they want.
I guess I'd be curious to see the target audience here. You do see that, right? The baby boomers now are realize they're in retirement. They have accumulated significant wealth. They're like, screw our kids. We don't want to leave it to them. Let's
Yeah.
spend it all. And maybe they are out there on Tinder Select and willing to pay that. I just don't think that's actually the intended audience. I think it's those, and even like a lot of times there are 20 somethings who just don't care about money because they watch
Yeah.
what our government spending is like.
A lot
and
of
they're
people
like, oh, we can do that.
A lot of them don't own
That's
homes
fine.
anymore too. They're staying at their parents
True.
longer, so you save more money. So $500 may seem nothing. Like if you make
Yeah.
a $50,000 a year job while not having to pay very minimal rent,
Yeah.
$500 might not seem like a big purchase.
Yeah, no, I think that's, and it comes with a variety of features. And I think back to our Gentleman's Box days when we introduced the Gentleman's Box Premium Box. It's sold out. At the time, it was a $100 box. It's sold out
Mhm.
in a day, and we had to get more inventory. And so there's always that appetite for premium subscription out there. I think even more so now than ever before. And just something, encourage subscription brands and membership brands out there to look at, is there another addressable market maybe that you're missing by not pricing things high enough? It sounds crazy.
And we're talking about two things too, right? There is that premium value, but there is also the concept of exclusivity. And when you offer something that's premium, you can correlate it with that exclusivity. So Tinder doing something that is an invite only, and then you have to pay $500, you're feeling like you're part of this very special club,
Yeah.
right? And when you give people that feeling of I'm one of 12 people,
Yeah.
immediately they feel incredibly important, which is the human nature. We crave for that feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to be way more likely to spend. And then your goal is pretty much to retain them. And so throughout every step of your customer journey, whatever brand you are, whatever you're offering, you can really ramp it up for consumers, because you will find those who crave more and more and more as far as offering, as far as perks, as far as exclusivity, whatever, you name it.
So that's interesting too, and I wonder, it's like, what kind of brands could do something like this? I mean, you take a look at Peloton right now; they're
Yeah.
struggling. The article here is talking about lowering UBS lowered the price target amid uncertainty around subscription growth. Is there how would you see an opportunity like that for a company like Peloton to come in and offer an ultra premium subscription? Would it come with coming to the classes in New York? Be able to come live can you even do that? I don't know. Is that a thing?
I know. I mean, that's
Can
one
you attend
possibility,
Peloton in
but we
person?
know Peloton leverages, I think Spotify or Versus. They
Mhm.
have a licensing deal with certain artists. What if you did a Peloton class and Beyonce was actually in the class singing? What if it was a class full of same level people, as far as maybe it's full of NFL athletes. I know a few NFL players that brag about their Peloton usage, right?
Mhm.
And so what if it was a class, you're the only one, and then everyone else is a former professional athlete?
True.
The access to that,
I
you
love
don't get it
sports so
until you
much.
become okay, what if it was the Lego club and you just had access to, I don't know.
I
But
love how you go to Legos. That's okay.
you
I'm
love
okay with
Legos.
that. I
But
do
no,
love
but there's
Legos.
something, exclusivity and access,
Yeah.
right? that you can give, and Peloton could definitely leverage that with the big names that they have using their brand.
Yeah. They have, Peloton had, I just searched this, can you attend the Peloton classes in person? It's $30 a class, so you can do that. But yeah, if they had an ultra premium subscription for $100 a month and you get to go to a couple in-person classes, that'd be worth it. And so maybe, but that's already like a more premium brand because people are paying that much for the equipment
Yes.
and things like that.
So let's think a smaller one. Let's think maybe a subscription box of some kind. FabFitFun.
Yeah.
What could
They
they
did
do in your opinion?
$500 a month. You get a gold-plated juice shaker thing. I don't know.
No, but I mean, there is a possibility. We know
You get
FabFitFun really
Vice's subscription box does it. Like it's higher end. You're getting nicer things. So I think it's just something to look at and something the brands absolutely can consider and find ways to be more to more audience, a bigger audience.
2 segments I'm struggling to find an opportunity for. It's streaming and media. I'm having a hard time discovering a point where what does the Wall Street Journal do to give you a premium offering, and vice versa with Netflix.
Well, like you take New York Times, for example, they have multiple different offerings, and they can start to bundle those, and you do see that happening now. And so you can bundle up things a little bit more, and so there's that. But could they create in-person experiences are tough. I think create more physical goods that could happen from that. Streaming's an interesting space right now. Like I'm telling you, super bundling and what needs to happen there. There's more and more sports, like the fragmentation across sports is happening more. And did you just share this with me? No, Alex did via text, actually. Utah Jazz owner pulled away from their TV deal with RSN, and they are starting their own local streaming service.
Which is going to be interesting. I don't know how that's going to work with the NBA Game Pass situation, because
I think that's separate.
The NBA owns them.
I think the way this works, or the impression I'm getting the way this works, is the teams participate in what the NBA offers, but then there are other like local market deals that they can do. And so locally here in the market, the Pistons maybe do something with Fox Sports, or I don't think it's Fox Sports anymore. Now it's Bally Sports. And so that's your French accent coming to play, the Bali Sports.
I was on my honeymoon for about 10 days in
Corsica. So yeah, I think there's that opportunity for those teams, but that's a totally an interesting play, creating their own streaming service. He's a younger guy, he's 45 years old, so the owner of the team, and so he's like, hey, let's find different ways to meet the fans out here.
Well, I mean, he heard direct to consumer, he took that literally, and he said, why rely on third parties?
But they're giving up their own, like it's a guaranteed source of revenue. A lot of these teams, like that's their base income coming in, and then ticket sales and everything else on top of that is additional that they need, that helps them like make the profit. But now you're having to advertise and build this on your own. What a risk.
What a potential upside. I see it more as an opportunity.
Yeah.
Why keep relying on others if you have a great idea? Like that's how the subscription industry has come to grow so quickly. Like you just see the opportunity that the consumers want to hear from you. The Utah Jazz fan base is notoriously incredibly linked to the team. They don't have a football team, and like they don't have something else to cling on to outside of college football, maybe, but that's it.
They don't have no hockey.
They might. I'm not sure.
We're the worst.
Yeah,
talking about this.
I don't know why we're talking about this, but
Bradley,
regardless,
help
I
us.
don't know, but I can check it
Help
out.
us.
But seriously, like when you have a fan base that's that closely linked to a team for that many years, right? We talk about the John Stockton years. Like the team has always gone with the city and vice versa. So doing that on your own is not a incredible risk, in my opinion. It's, if anything, it's an opportunity. And guess what? The TV deal's probably going to still, like, they're going to be there if it doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be there to clean up the mess after. Yes. But I think that you're exactly right. Now you have, and the other thing you have is so much more about your loyal customers. Who's watching, they're watching this many games. Now you can send them different offers. You can give them, opportunity for merch and things like that. We notice you watch every single game. have the jersey of this player, so on and so forth, whatever
You can
it may
create
be.
a ticket packages that are no longer just season. Like it's no longer just a season ticket or just a one game. Like you can create,
Right.
hey, you watched 12 games last year. Do you want a 12 ticket?
Why isn't Cuban doing this? Why aren't the Dallas Mavericks like
He's busy.
Cuban? But see, like he is busy he's focused on cost plus drugs right now. But he would have been the perfect person to roll this out. He launched broadcast.com,
Yeah.
sold that for $1 bajillion to Yahoo back in the day, so he knows this direct to consumer space.
Every
He's just getting lazy.
well, or maybe Mark Cuban knows something that we don't. I don't know. Mark, we love you. Not lazy at all.
Call
But
us.
What you have to think about is every city is different. So every team's kind of strategy is going to be different. So in Dallas, is there an opportunity, or are they making that much on local TV deals that there's just no big upside in going on your own?
Maybe I think it's just taking somebody to be an innovator in this
Yeah.
space, and I think what we're seeing with the Jazz is going to be a real interesting test
For sure.
to see what happens out there. While a lot of these other streaming brands are starting to like pull back. I mean, Disney announced that they're cutting content off of the offering. They're taking a $1.5 billion content write-off.
Has
as
that
it
anything
pulls
to do with the
titles from their
strike?
streaming service. Look at, I mean, maybe these companies do things in the midst of strikes. They're close to settling that strike, I think. But no, like Ford announced a big battery plant closure the other day, and I think that's probably pulling into the strike conversations and doing that. But I think the bigger thing for them is they're pulling the titles from these streaming services because what's happening is they're continuing to have to pay for those titles to be on there, and these streaming services are losing money because they're continuously investing so much in content, and they can't keep paying for that content to sit out there. So they're like, okay, let's pull it off.
Yep.
We'll write them a big fat check to say, sorry, no more royalties, and call it a day. It's an interesting strategy. The challenge is like, where does that content go? Goes to the content graveyard? We don't
No.
get to watch it ever
Like
again?
That's
Peacock
the
buys
problem.
it, Paramount Plus buys it.
Well,
like,
and that
goes
can
to
happen, but it
Amazon?
really hasn't a lot.
that's true.
No.
Especially Disney. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, that's the one thing. Like, if I was a creator, I would want a physical copy. Now, they wouldn't do that because that's not the way it works. Or like maybe like a limited release or later release, because now we're getting into the point here where you can just pretty much erase something from existence, which is kind of scary. And because especially if you maybe are a dedicated person to that show and it's just not popular and they just drop it off and like, well, it's gone now. Like, I have to find illegal ways to watch it. So
I got an idea, Paul. I got visionary.
You're gonna outdo Bob Iger here?
Yeah.
You think this is
Bobby? Chill out. What if
Bobby?
What if
Uncle Bob.
what if we were able to put that content into, let's say, something of a disc form, and I want to call it something. We need
Digital versatile
It needs
disc.
to be a 3-letter acronym. DVD, and we sell that, and then we do a Blu-ray.
Just
brand
after
new
Netflix
work.
shuts theirs down.
I know.
Blu-ray
Coming
because
back, baby.
Disney is
No, but
blue.
one that's super interesting
Coming
that
back.
you mentioned that, because there is a full cycle moment. But I want to hear what Bob's doing.
So Bob Iger said on the earnings call, Disney call with analysts, he said they're confident that we're on the right path for streaming's long-term profitability, and that as part of the company would be rationalizing the volume of the content we make and what we're spending. I mean, like, they brought him back in for a reason to help make Disney overall profitable. And part of that is, so what are they taking down here? I'm reading Willow, The Mysterious Benedict Society, Dollface, The One and Only Ivan. Things like I've never heard of any of those and probably not going to miss them. But if you're a fan, like, you're right, Bradley.
So
it's gone.
I've seen Benedict, and it's actually pretty good.
Dang it.
So
Rush to
I
watch
mean,
it.
I won't be returning to view it. So I mean, I think that's what it is, right? Like, the people have came and went on that, but like, they're also, when the previous CEO is Bob Chapek came in, he
Bobs.
like did like 1,000 Marvel shows. I mean, a ton of Marvel shows, and now Bob Iger has basically said, like, we are going to reel that back in and focus more on quality shows and less of them. And that might be one of the things too, not just like revenue wise, but also content wise. So
yeah, and you got to imagine how much money are they spending on rewinding all these movies too when people are watching them.
sure, rewinding. There's a whole person there that hits the rewind
That's
button.
gonna be more than one person.
That's my dad joke for today.
But think about that premium offering we were talking about, that $500 offering. Now, call me crazy, but what if you did something, not like the DVD, but better? What if Disney Plus became a premium offering that was only available by invite only to those who've gone physically to the Walt Disney World location?
So, okay. All right, crazy. Let's talk about this. So you're saying Disney Plus?
Yes, because Disney Plus is their biggest headache right now, right?
Don't pitch this to Bob.
We don't know. I'm just saying. We were talking about premium offerings, right? And Disney Plus is clearly
All right, Bob.
that's
Hear me
Bob's
out.
biggest headache. So I stormed into the room. I fixed it. No, but so if it's their biggest headache, content-wise,
What's their
distribution-wise,
biggest headache?
Disney Plus overall, they don't know what to
It's
do
just
with it.
losing money. You can't do that forever.
Exactly, which is why I'm saying, what if you did that as a premium offering? You can
Yeah.
apply to have access to it, and you still have to pay the membership fee for that.
Yeah.
But you've had to go to one of the Walt Disney World location or Disney.
I think there's
Land.
something within that, but you're saying you can only get access to Disney Plus if you've gone to a park?
We're talking about a premium offering, just like Tinder. It's not for everyone.
Okay.
That's something like it. You want to be a part of that club. You want those people who go to the Walt Disney World location. They want all of the Disney stuff.
I think there's some sort of package in there around this for sure. I think there's something that comes with like getting into like a membership to a park comes with Disney Plus. There's like there for sure is a ultra premium offering in there somewhere that would include annual visit to the park or something like that. I don't disagree with that at all. I don't think like, restricting you can only get access to Disney Plus if you've been to a park. That sounds like
I think Louis is saying like a tier or a specific.
You're saying just a
exclusive
tier.
content.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
okay.
part of Tinder's
Not
offering.
all
Like, so
of-
you get
not
you-
all of Disney Plus.
I
you
got
get the
really
best.
hung up on the one part of that.
One that okay.
Yeah.
I got to
Yeah,
refine my
like,
pitch. Now I
you
got to refine it.
Went
That's
to
insane.
the Marvel hotel, which is only
Ah.
in Disneyland.
Also,
and
they're
then
shutting
you
down the
get more
Star
Marvel
Wars hotel.
content.
Like there's
Yeah, but that was doomed to fail. That
I
the
know.
whole model of that was really interesting.
it was way too much money too.
Yeah.
Can you catch us up for the people who don't?
Did you ever,
So the hotel basically had an experience that none of the other hotels did because it was basically a ride within the hotel. Like the hotel
it's like
was
three. You'd stay there for like 2
consistently-
nights or something like
yeah,
that.
and there was
Yeah.
consistently activities. It's basically like you would pretty
It's an
much
immersive
stay in
You were
there.
immersed in
yeah.
where you
You
meant
were
to
there.
feel like you were.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
and it's like almost like you wouldn't need to leave to go to the park or anything.
Yeah,
like
part of it
that.
was you would take a train to the park and it felt like you're on a spaceship taking you to the park and then you get dropped into the land.
Cool.
So it was a really cool experience, but it was like $6,000,
Right.
for
Oh.
a couple to go there or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's funny because that offering wouldn't work for a hotel, right? You need constant revenue.
Yeah.
But it's when we talk about those premium offerings, there's definitely a possibility where Disney Plus might not be a headache, as much of a headache, if you find a way to, layer in other additional perks to it
Yeah.
and
yeah.
make it more exclusive.
Yeah, I think so. And I think just like overall, like when we take a step back and look at pricing strategies as a whole, brands have to think about like who's the market, where, and also like globally too. What's the country you're marketing to, what's going on. I know this is something a lot of the media and publication really work hard on, and it's about the right offering at the right price at the right time.
So hard to do.
It's so hard to do, but the more data you have, the more you understand those markets, the stronger the offering can be. And in delivering something of value to the person, that's what we're constantly preaching in subscription here and on the podcast. It's about delivering that value at the right time that they're going to want to stay there and be part of it for a while.
And it's also understanding that there is value. Like you don't have to give everything away for free. And I think that's what those brands are realizing. Like they're removing the freemium offering pretty much from their listing. They're understanding like we need money, that's for sure, but we also offer a valuable product, and people will spend if they see the value. Now,
Right.
your job as a brand is to actually make them feel that value every time they use your product or
Yeah.
use your service.
You have to, because in the position that I'm in, I get to talk to a lot of different brands, a lot of different partners out there every single day. And I can tell you the things that I'm starting to see and have been privy enough to like have sneak previews of. You need to be on your A game with what you're offering subscribers. They're going to have more and more ways and options to cancel, to get out of there. Don't give them the reason, give them a reason to stick around and not even think twice about it. Because the further we get down the path with regulations, with technology, it is going to be so much easier for consumers to exit their subscriptions that they're in.
Yeah.
And give them reason not to want to do that.
Do you think right now we're kind of in an era of like, not an era, but a cycle of brands playing defense and not offense? or certain groups of, like
the companies that are doing it right, and all the people that I talk to that work in retention at some of the largest companies out there say retention starts on day one of acquisition. And it's not a defensive play. It's more of in a lot of ways, like it is an offensive play of, let's just keep providing value, build on that relationship with our customers. And it happens in Subscribe and Save, the auto ship programs out there. It's happening in media and publication. So yeah, I think, the way to really look at it, and these brands need to be looking at it, is be supportive. Like that retention starts on day one, whether voluntary churn, involuntary churn, programs, offerings, things like that.
Yeah, and when I say play defense, I don't mean play the retention game. I mean like hope your customers don't leave versus give them reasons not to leave. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's the messaging and everything you're doing is just to, okay, we have an offering that works somewhat good. Let's just stick with it and let's just really do good on customer service side. Yeah. And no innovation. Let's just keep going with what we've had because it works somehow. And you can't win in this era of just innovation at all around the country, all around the world.
And no, all of your customers are going to be different in different ways and different offerings. I was reading this article about Microsoft Game Pass. They're at, actually, no, this wasn't even an article. This is a leaked FTC document in their lawsuit.
Yeah, this was a big, like one of the biggest ones in gaming. I mean, it was like a ton of console stuff for next year.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They announced crazy. Like the roadmap. It's the roadmap to 2030.
Yeah,
that got released as part of the FTC document.
It was a massive leak.
But they're projecting to be at 100 million Game Pass members by 2030.
Do we know how many they have right now?
30 million, around 30 million, 25, 30 million. So in the next 7 years, they're planning to layer in a lot there.
Like 10 million a year.
And
without losing members.
Well, they got big acquisitions still coming.
The big acquisition.
So they're going to have exclusive titles that only Xbox has, and that's just going to keep bringing people.
I mean, it even came out too. You saw part of the emails where like Nintendo would be the career making moment for them.
But it absolutely would be. But they've tried to do that before, and a few people have tried to do that with Nintendo before. There was a point where before they launched apps, which kind of saved the company, they were not doing very well, and I think this was like 10 years ago. Yeah. It's always been on the table, and I bet Sony had thought about that before. So I wouldn't take that as like that's going to happen, but
no, I don't think so. But the new endpoints are the path to 100 million members, and they in here in this document in their path to that, they talk about unlocking new off console endpoints and improving the experience will substantially grow subscribers over the next 8 years. And then another key point is personalization and customization continue as a hardware strategic advantage and key profit driver and customer delight.
I think they read the annual report.
I think they totally read our annual report. And that's what it talks about it. And that is, they reference here according to a SubSummit study. Yeah, for sure. But that's exactly it. And that's what we've been talking about here. So, these brands, they're recognizing it. And I think and we all do too, but the bigger importance we put on that, the stronger a foundation that you have for maintaining those. The console business is a foundation for them, and it'll continue to drive a majority of revenue and subscribers, they say. So were you excited about that, Bradley, some of these documents out here?
I mean, they're interesting. I mean, I've kind of moved away from console itself because I'm more on PC now. And part of that is because all of the like upcoming Microsoft releases that are exclusive are all on PC too. So I'm basically getting the Xbox experience on PC.
Because you're Team Microsoft anyways.
Well, no, I mean, there's certain games that Microsoft has by itself that are like, something I would want that aren't on PlayStation, but they're on PC. So I kind of get the best of both worlds. However, there is still a Game Pass, that Game Pass is still just as applicable for PC as it is on console, as it is on mobile, because you do it on your iPhone.
And on PC, you're playing on a Microsoft platform.
Exactly. And that's why they're doing it, because you're all on Windows. And so it's still an ecosystem that, is Microsoft.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're not ignoring that. Interesting.
While also investing in AI, I've never seen a company go after one thing so open, so publicly. They don't care that that that's their end game.
Yeah. No, it'll be interesting. Who was I talking to about this the other day? I was talking to Adam Levinter about this, the Tesla Optimus robot. It's getting pretty advanced, the things that they're doing. I'm excited to subscribe to my robot.
I was gonna ask, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of questions.
Hey,
about
let's pick random headshots here. I'm gonna have you pick 2 headshots out of here. We're gonna talk about 2 people. These are 8x10 glossies from SubSummit.
Why do you keep saying 8x10? No one cares about the dimension of
They're
the
8x10.
glossies.
8x10 glossies. Like that's
True,
what you
they're
autograph.
8x10.
Just say, hey, these are our past SubSummits.
I have a whole stack of my own 8x10 glossies that I autograph all the time for
saying the
people.
dimension.
8x10 glosses.
Yeah.
Keep saying the dimension.
Go get a tape measure. Let's measure it and make sure
I
it's
trust
8x10.
you. I don't.
Okay, so you're going to pick 2 8x10 glossies, and then we're going to talk about those people and their subscription businesses. And when you attend SubSummit, if you're a speaker at the event, you get off. It's not done. It's not ready yet.
All right, I was ready.
We print off 8x10 glossies. You walk the red carpet, and we work hard to find you to get you to autograph your 8x10
No,
glossy.
we actually don't do anything. The paparazzi are on a mission to find you.
Well, I know, but somebody's got to know, like, when they're coming down. Anyway, the paparazzi work hard to find you. Yes, absolutely. And it is. You're right. You're such a good Disney experience builder. I love you.
Well, I know because
All right,
Bob didn't like
so-
my pick.
I know,
I don't
right?
know. What do I do, bro?
So yeah, no, it's so pick 2 out of there.
So
And we're
my
gonna talk about these
heart
people
tells
and
me
their
you'd want me to go
subscription businesses.
top, but maybe you're playing mind
No,
games.
stop. Watch this. All right, let's go.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna do this.
You can see some of the names. We're gonna hide it.
I'm gonna go with this one.
Okay. Let's see. What'd you come
Oh,
up
that's
with?
a good one. And
Okay,
then I'm gonna go with
Some of the names are
this.
on the back of them. You couldn't see them. Oh, look at this. That was good. We tried to set it up, but actually I tried to trick you.
Which one should you show?
Oh, we're going to do both. We're going to talk about both. So what's interesting is this one first, Jess Servian from Feastables. She's the head of their customer experience there. They don't have
Amazing
a subscription
hair,
business of any
first of
kind. And the reason they don't is because they can't, because Feastables are selling through the roof. So I saw Lex Friedman interview Jimmy on his podcast, aka Mr. Beast, and he talked about how they've been just trying to keep up with Walmart. Now they're in 7-Eleven. Jess is an absolute brilliant mind in terms of customer experience, like obsessed with customers. Did you get a chance to talk to her at all at SubSummit
I
last
did
year?
not. I heard her session though.
She's awesome.
Which was my favorite. It's probably one of my favorites.
And one of the most like giving people, so generous with their time and conversation.
Great podcast, I think, as well with.
Yes,
I
she
think
has an
Oopsie
Oopsie podcast
Yep.
with Zoe from Chomps and Zoe or Zoe? Oh, geez.
I think it's Zoe, but I've
Zoe,
never
you're
met
right.
her either.
Anyway, so they have a Oopsie podcast, which is a really cool podcast where they talk about with D2C operators and mistakes that they've made.
They made
Those
an oopsie.
Oopsie moments. And it's really fun because it's so humanizing. Like you're like, oh gosh, everybody makes mistakes. This is the mistake they made. So I think it's a great concept there, and talk about how they work through those things and stuff like that. So definitely recommend her. Follow her on X and LinkedIn as well.
And she echoes all the sentiments we were
Yeah.
just talking about, right? Like that Microsoft league, like personalization and customization. She could have those 2 words tattooed somewhere. I would believe it because that's everything that she preaches. Like
Yeah.
she wants to know first, last name, zodiac sign of every single one of her customers so that she can give them the best possible experience. Doesn't matter what the
Yeah.
brand is. She just wants them to have a great time because that's what's going to make them come back.
Yeah, and I know she's on Jayal Dawani's network of the starters.
Yes.
Which is really cool. So you can hire her to do freelance work for you as well on her nights and weekends. And she does amazing stuff there. We actually couldn't have picked 2 of the better people out of this pile. Everybody in this pile is an amazing person. But
Oh,
like
sorry.
this
It wasn't a
other one,
compliment.
Ron Shaw from Obvi, he's fantastic. Going to actually be interviewing him for next week's podcast. Coincidentally, going to be talking to him, and they're like, I don't understand how this man has time to jump on to do an interview with me. They acquired a company that they're building. They're building a pet pet product that they're doing. Obvi just rolled out to Walmart, and he's speaking at events. They'll be back at SubSummit next year. He is doing other intimate events around like New York, LA, Austin. They're doing 32 events this year, like little dinners for D2C companies. It's wild.
He loves the community.
Yeah.
That's his jam. He's the DTC community organizer. That could be one of his titles, but
These 2, yeah.
they're just here to give back, and
That's super
what's-
cool.
Yeah.
They also have a podcast called Chew on This.
Yes.
How do we get randomly drew these 2 people? Like both have great podcasts, both giving so much back.
But Paul, was it
Again.
random?
It was
Was it?
because I totally mixed them up there.
Was it?
You thought you knew where you're going. I tried to throw you
Riley
off.
knows it wasn't random.
And so definitely check out myobv.com and then Feastables, which is where Jess is at. Jess is also starting a newsletter right now too.
Oh,
A weekly newsletter where she's going to be talking about this. I don't know if these guys have a newsletter yet. Lots of great content out there. So if you want to find some people you can continue to learn from, these two are them.
and I think that's some of my favorite characteristics of these two humans is they share things as they learn.
Yeah.
So on LinkedIn, we'll see those like super
my
inspiring slides of, you know, like 10 things I wish I knew when I was 27.
Mm-hmm.
I like those, but they don't give me much value like right away. These guys say like, I just hopped off a meeting today where I discovered that this is wrong with my company.
Yeah.
Here's my plan to fix it.
Ron, I saw a tweet the other day from him where he's talking about, or a post the other day from him where he's talking about they had major problems with their wholesale online, and he's been working to correct those numbers. And it was, for most transparency, showing those numbers, showing what he's been doing to do it. He's a big proponent of building in public.
Yeah.
And I think that's super cool because it helps you understand the pros, the cons, like the good, bad, and the ugly of it all.
He's the definition of what I was referring to of playing offense. He doesn't care if other people build businesses. Like, fine, bring the competition. He believes in himself. He believes in the products that he's building. He believes in the teams that he's hiring. Like, that's the way it should be. Be confident in what you're doing, or else you're not going to succeed.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Or it is awesome. So anyway, two great people, and I think excited to talk about those two today.
Absolutely.
And so tune in next week's podcast. We'll have the exclusive interview with Ron Shaw on next week's podcast, episode 23. All right, should we get into our game show for the week, Bradley?
Yes. Would you like to do the interaction?
Yes, I'll do the interaction. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for Name That Subscription. Ooh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Let's go. Name That Subscription is brought to you by TroyMenu.com. Visit TroyMenu.com for all of your menu needs in the city of Troy, Michigan. It's not real.
That was very good, though.
It's a website that I started 20 years ago.
Sounded
legit
rehearsed.
started 20 years ago, and I drove around the city of Troy here and got these restaurants on my website. It was you can go to archive.org and look up TroyMenu.com. And we actually had online ordering. I pioneered like online ordering back in the day. And I learned that you can't stop in lunch hour or dinner hour at restaurants. The owners will not talk to you. It is the worst time of day. So I was coming for you, DoorDash. But I was about a decade too early on that. So anyway, not our sponsor today.
Are we ready to rumble?
Yes, I just want to remind our audience that the total of points accumulated so far are 40 points. The team here today is going to be playing for 100 points. Once they get to 100 points, the office gets a pizza party.
And we love that. So I'm going to make it as easy as possible because I want pizza.
Bradley loves pizza.
Done.
All right. Well, here we go.
Let's do it.
We're going to start with round one.
Worth 20 points.
That is correct. Worth 20 points. This company launched in 2011.
Got it.
Overseas and launched in the U.S. in 2012.
I think I know this one, actually. Oh, shit.
Stop.
Oh, hey.
I might.
If you get this right now, it's an immediate 100 points. Go, guess.
HelloFresh.
That is correct.
Get out! Get out of here. Stop it. Stop. What just happened? You just earned the office immediate pizza party.
Play the music. Play the music.
Get that air horn going, Bradley. What just happened?
I'd like to take this moment to thank my family for pushing me to be the best version of myself. I'm not done saying thank you. Thank you.
Did you look at the sheet? Okay, well, now I'd like to break it down then. In that case.
let's get through some of the
I'm just going to chill here for a second.
Well, he's just going to enjoy it.
I feel very good about myself right about now.
That was
I can't
very
emphasize
impressive.
How good I feel about myself.
Oh my God.
Pizza.
All right. Wow. I made a promise.
I didn't think that was an easy. It was just two dates. All right. So what? So it was the overseas. I'm assuming it's the overseas thing. Is that what
the reason I remembered them? Yeah, overseas, and I did a in-depth case study about them on the 2021 annual report. So I remember this.
Good work, Louie. Good research, buddy.
Thank you.
That's unbelievable. Okay, so give us the rest of the clues to the audience.
Okay.
I'll actually do it for you. I think I know.
It was. Yeah. Why don't you just do the clue?
I should have had you write it down because now
That was amazing.
people like playing along with this game, and everybody's gonna be
Right.
like, "Well, not playing that next
now
time."
it's done.
Oh gosh! All right, what are the rest of the?
Now I
Okay,
have
so-
to apologize.
All right. So, according to a reputable source, their revenue is $8.1 billion. A reputable source.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Was that the
We have
SubSummit annual report? 'Cause I
inside
think-
information. Oh, and it could be. In 2023, Q2, EBITDA up to 31.5%.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm also naming my first child EBITDA.
Oh my gosh, that's a great EBITDA coster.
I think so too.
I love that.
Wow, that actually kind of rolls off the tongue.
It does. Stealing it. Chris Chambers.
All right. Well, set two was the global market for this product was 14.8 billion in 2022. They have around 20,000 employees. At the end of 2022, had 1 million active customers. It was a physical product. And lastly, a 2018 study revealed half of the subscribers cancel within a month, with only 20% keeping their subscriptions for 6 months or more, which I think is the most interesting. Of
I'd be
all
curious
the
to know how many
second
come
facts.
back around because we
Right.
do that.
Yeah.
We do that in my family. We'll cycle through it.
Sure.
We'll be like, okay, well, we're busy again. Let's slow it down. We're not doing the meals, and then we'll bring it back in. So I bet their retake
Comes
rate.
back.
Is
Do you
pretty high.
cycle through as in like you just do it, then you don't do it, then you do it again? Or
Yeah.
do you do HelloFresh, then you do Blue Apron, then you try?
Every so often we'll rotate, but if we find that we're happy with the meals they're getting and
Got it.
the food, the quality came okay,
So it's
won't
about that
switch.
first time, yeah.
Yeah, if like we're not having to like, oh, the potatoes were all bruised up again or something, I don't know, like something like that, then we would switch. But otherwise,
HelloFresh is interesting in their marketing, like because I think I get an email a week at
mhm.
the very least of like 16 free meals on us.
Yeah,
And every time I'm like, I could do it. But then I know that I'm going to cancel. Like I would say, I know for a fact if I do it, I know I'm going to cancel a month later because I'm not going to need it for.
I get a lot in physical mail too, interestingly enough.
yeah, they do a lot of that. You're not a target customer, I don't think.
No.
And it, like that's another one for like a ultra
Yeah.
premium subscription. Partner with like Omaha Steaks or Good Ranchers to like get some really good steaks in there, and
Oh my gosh, the partnerships thing would be
yeah, that could be interesting.
panel
They
and
got the
SubSummit
wine.
24.
They do upsells and cross sells on it too. What were some of the other hints, Bradley?
Yeah, so this would be the next round for 5 points. IPO'd in 2017 on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Been a Cube nominee 3 times and won once. Who knows if that's correct, because that didn't work last
Didn't work last time,
That
yeah.
was
You guys were off
but
last time?
whatever.
Wow.
No quarterly nor monthly. Tis shipped on a weekly cadence.
Yeah, that would have been a
Probably done it.
tipper for me.
Yeah, and I think this next one should have been in the most obvious one for 1 point, but Chris said, logo has a lime in it. So that probably would have done it.
1 point. We're gonna add 41 points instead. We have 140 points now. We have over exceeded.
Goodness.
Hey, Bradley.
That was amazing.
What a pivotal moment in this podcast today.
I came through.
Ladies
for
and
this
gentlemen,
team.
we've experienced history. Not only do we have a sponsor that's non-existent in business for the last 2 decades, we also had Louis come in with the win off of 2 hints. Crazy. Anything
call
else? Anything else before we depart here today?
Call me 2 hints,
can't-
Louis,
And
for a
Chris George
reason.
would have never been able to do that. I'm just going to say that.
No. Now that
Just got to throw shade to my boss. Thanks for not
Well,
being on the podcast.
Bradley,
I'm glad
yeah.
Louis is on instead.
thanks for being the last podcast with us.
Hey, you made it
Good luck
past
doing
the
it without
most.
me.
Yeah, this is it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. Really appreciate it. If you liked this, if you liked the excitement that we conveyed when Louis got it up of 2 hints, make sure you tell your friends, share this, post it different places, leave a comment, give us feedback, shoot us an email. Let's talk at subda.com. As always, subscribe, do all the buttons around it. And thank you so much. Make sure you tune in next week. We're going to be interviewing Ron from Avi that we talked about a lot today, talking to him about his business, things that he's doing. And
Paul, big SubSummit announcements coming
Oh my
over the next
gosh,
couple of
yes.
months. So everyone stay tuned.
stop. How do we forget
There's
that?
a lot of goodness coming up in the next couple of months. That's all I can say right now, but just strap in because it's going to be one of
Yeah.
the best event you've ever been to.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The conversations with the brands that I've been having that will be in attendance at SubSummit this year,
Yes.
that are going to not only be speakers, but also be in the room is, I don't, we're so fortunate to be able to have so many amazing friends that will be there, and it's just going to be an amazing room to have conversations. And I can't say the word amazing enough.
Amazing.
So,
I gotcha.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will see you next episode.
Bye.